So it's a real pleasure to be with you this afternoon. And the two groups that I'll be speaking, perhaps representing, thinking of the numbers that you were citing there of hundreds of millions of people that are involved in the various virtual networks today. You know, the church represents this over billion person network still to this day, although not responding nearly as quickly, unfortunately. So we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn, but also we often become the first responders and first providers. So the two ways that I'd like to speak to that today are both as a political scientist. I'm in the Department of Government at Georgetown, so I've studied this from an academic stance, but then also from the very practical delivery of aid, which I've worked in Honduras following Hurricane Mitch. I was in Chile shortly before the earthquake this past year, so have some experience on the ground, and I'll speak to that in our later comments.
Great, thank you. Next, Alan Jury from the World Food Program, where he's responsible for interacting with everyone that's important, U.S. government, private institutions, et cetera, and prior to which he had a long tenure with the State Department.
Thank you. Well, the World Food Program, for many of you may know, is the UN's food assistance agency. It is the largest food assistance agency in the world. It delivers food to nearly 90 million people, sometimes in some years as many as 100 million in 74 countries. We're in and present on the ground in most of the major natural disaster and conflict situations that are in the news all the time: Sudan, Afghanistan, Haiti, Yemen, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Africa, sub-Saharan Africa is our biggest area of operation, but we're present in all regions of the world except for liaison and fundraising purposes, and obviously not present in Western Europe or most of the developed world. So we're an agency that has 75% of its staff and all of its operational programs in the developed world, particularly the least developed world that has inadequate food supplies.
Next, Robbie Torbay, who's the Vice President of the International Medical Corps, where he has launched a significant number of efforts for the International Medical Corps, and most notably has been on the ground in, it seems like, every hotspot for the last 10 years. So, Robbie?
Thank you, Neil. I guess that's my luck, being in all those hotspots. International Medical Corps is a non-governmental organization. It's a relief and development organization. It has a very robust emergency response team. We work currently in about 27 countries all over the world, mainly in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, and most recently in Haiti, where we were on the ground in 22 hours after the earthquake. We've been dealing with technology for the past few years. It's been something on our mind, and it has a huge impact on what we do. And obviously, hopefully, we'll get the chance to talk about it later.
And Professor Bill Novelli, the former Chief Executive Officer of AARP, and now a professor at the McDonough School at Georgetown, and previously as well at CARE.
I'm kind of emeritus. I mean, my credentials are not as current as everybody else's up here, but I used to run CARE USA, part of CARE International. And CARE is a relief and development organization. You think of the continuum. And in my day, we worked in emergencies in Bangladesh and in northern Iraq, Somalia, Rwanda, and in Haiti. It wasn't an earthquake, it was a military embargo, and it was a mess. And some things never change, perhaps, I guess. And I'm working at the business school at Georgetown to develop an initiative in social enterprise in collaboration with the School of Foreign Service and other parts of the university. And this will have international relief and development really as part of its purview.